Hi everyone, welcome to our Facebook live session for March, and this would be our third one that we've done so far. We're still learning how to do these, and you probably notice I've changed my phone to landscape, so it's different to what I was doing before in portraits. So I just have to remember where to look into the camera, and yeah, forgive me if I'm looking all over the place, but just trying, so used to looking at myself in the phone. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and thank you for continuing to show interest in what we do here in Vaoala Vanilla, and show interest with my products, show interest with my story, and just really allowing me to share my story with all of you. And I think that's really important, you know, as a woman entrepreneur, as a female farmer. It can be quite lonely sometimes when you feel like you're out there doing it all on your own, but having the support of the followers like yourselves, and just the support of people wanting to know more about your journey, and just encouraging you to go forward and get over those challenges. It's made a heck of a difference. It really has, and it's encouraged me to keep going. Because I know I have so many wonderful followers out there. So I really thank you all for your interest. So today, I promised you that we would try and do different things each month. I'm only going to do monthly video sessions because we're all busy people. And there's so many different live video sessions out there in the Facebook world. So I didn't want to overdo it. So I did promise you that I would try and do different things with you each month. And I'm still learning. I'm learning how to do some demonstration tips with you while I'm still holding the camera. I do have tripods, but I just got to figure out how to set them all up properly. So bear with me, we will get there, and I'm hoping that by what I learn organically and just from trial and error, that I can pass on to other women entrepreneurs on the tools to use with social media, how to do some of this demo stuff. So back to the point of what we're doing today. So today I'm going to show you the vanilla bean. So last month we talked about growing vanilla and some of the challenges of growing vanilla, and how to plant from a seedling. Well, I just showed you, I didn't demonstrate it. So I thought this time round I would show you the actual beans. I did show you some beans last time that were on one of the vines. And you're lucky this time, because I've actually found new flower buds on one of the vines as a bud, and then I found a cluster of new flowers. So I can show you that the flowers haven't opened yet, and then I can show you the beans that are growing on the vine. I can then show you beans that I've harvested, and show you the different stages of the processing method to where we end up with the bean that you would find in the store or that you would buy from us. And then I'll share a couple of tips on how to use the bean and how to store it properly. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to turn my camera around, and I'm out here in the vanilla. As you can see, this is only 2/3 of what I have. I have another third on the other side of the house. It's 6 p.m., just after 6 p.m. here in Samoa, and it's a beautiful time of the day. We probably have about another hour of sunlight left, and it's just quiet, it's peaceful. I just love coming out here during the day. So I promised you that I would show you a flower bud. So as you can see, this is the vine, and I've marked it with a red cloth because this helps me to identify which vine has got a flower bud. And there you go. That is a brand new flower cluster. And as you can see, the ants love it too. Ants can be a problem, and being organically certified, I'm continuously looking for different ways of combating the ants. But we will get there. We just need to persevere and try different things. So I'll just try and focus. There we go. That is a brand new flower cluster. And it will take, to get it to where all the flowers, and I'll show you the next one, it would take about a good 3 weeks before they are fully, what's the word? They're flowers. So I'll go up here and show you what I was trying to explain just a few minutes ago. And there they are. That is the cluster of flowers. That's a small one. I've seen much bigger ones. And as you can see, you end up with about 10 to 15 flower stems there. So that's the flower there, and when it's mature and you pollinate it, this part down here becomes the bean. And I'll show you what I mean on the other one. And here we're going to walk over to where there are beans, and these beans are about maybe about 4 to 5 months old now. They still have another 3 to 4 months to go before they mature. And these are the beans. So that used to be the flower right here. This part here used to be the flower. And that's what I would have pollinated. And then that stem turned into the bean. And you can see how beautiful and long these are. And it takes 9 months for these to fully mature. And you don't pick them until they go bright yellow and down the bottom here. But it is different depending on the variety of the vanilla that you have. So I've got 2 varieties here. If you remember last month when I said I have the bourbon variety, this is bourbon, where the leaf is very wide and thick. And the other variety I have is the Tahitian. And this is the Tahitian, where the leaf is long and thin and it's not as thick. And the beans actually mature differently. So the bourbon will turn yellow down here, and if you leave them too long, they will split and you've lost your premium bean. Whereas the Tahitian, when you have beans from the Tahitian vine, they actually go brown on the vine. And I've got one up in the room. So I'm going to take you back up into the unit where I've sort of set up a little bit of a, I'll turn this around. Hi. So we're going back to the unit, and this is I call it the unit. It's a little add-on to our property, onto our home, and it's where my when my kids are able to come and visit us, this is where they normally come and stay, in the little unit. So I've just set up some of the beans that I harvested this morning, and some of the mature beans and some of the processed stuff, and that's where I'll do a little demo for you. So just bear with me for a little bit while I go inside and set you up, and then we'll talk about yeah. So sorry, the comments are sideways for me. So apologies if you've got questions and I haven't seen them, but if I do miss your questions, don't worry. After the video session, I'll go through all of the comments and I'll personally respond to you. So thank you very much for your questions. So keep them coming in. And here we go. So I'll just turn up a bit. Alrighty. I hope you can hear me okay. Mele, why do you have a red tag on the vines, please? Okay, good question. The red tag helps me to identify which of the vines have flowers, the buds, so that it's easy for me to go around the farm. I'll bend down and go directly to that vine. Otherwise, if I didn't mark them, I'd be spending a lot of time going through every single vine. So the red tags mean that there's either a flower or a new bud. Once the flower has opened up and I pollinate, and when that's all finished, I then change the red tag to a blue. And the blue for me means that it's beans. So I know if the vine's got blue tags on it, they're beans. If they're red tags, that's flowers, and pollination still needs to happen. All right? Thanks for the question. Okay, so remember I mentioned to you about the difference between Tahitian and the bourbon beans. So today I harvested 2 different lots of beans. This is a bourbon bean, and you can see where it's gone yellow. Whoops, sorry, just trying to get the best yellow down at the tips there. That is the time to harvest. All right. These beans, these are Tahitian beans, and you can see how they went brown while still on the vine. You could not do that with a bourbon bean. If you left it like this bean would have split open, and then you've got a lower grade bean. Whereas the Tahitian, you can actually leave it on the vine, but see how this one was left on a little bit too long, and it's starting to dry up at the ends. So it's really important that you go out and inspect your vines when you know that they've got beans at least once a week, so that you can harvest them before they either split or they start going dry at the ends. But we harvest everything, even with this little one. This was a deformed small one that didn't mature, but it went yellow, because we process them all the same and they become part of our products here. So these are the green, and this is after 9 months of living on the vanilla vine. So then we harvest. When we harvest, we then do the processing stage, and there's a hot water bath, and then there's 2 weeks of sunning for the beans. So it's called the sweating and the curing process. So we use sweat. As you can see how big the bean is, that's got a lot of moisture content in it. And what we need to do is get them down to this. I've got 3 different beans here that are still processing. They're not complete, but they're all at different stages. This one still has quite a lot of moisture in it, but it's lovely and brown, and this is when I massage to get the oils out. That one is just about ready to go to the final stage, and you can see the oils are starting to come into that one, as well as this. Use it. I wish you could smell these. They're beautiful. So as you can see, the big difference to what you have to do to get your beans down to that. This weighs, when it's green, this weighs around about 15 to 20 grams. By the time you finish processing to that, it's only about 3 to 4 grams. So there's a lot of moisture content that you have to naturally get rid of through the sunning and curing techniques. So that's those 3. And these ones have been sitting in my room, vanilla room, for a few months now, and they've actually been vacuum packed so that we stop the air getting to them, because if they stayed like this, they would eventually turn into sticks. Very hard sticks, because they still keep processing naturally. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to actually open one of these, show you how to open a bean, have a look inside a bean, and then just give you a few little different things that I do with them. All right, so here we go. So you take a beautiful bean like this, and you can use it not only in baking, you can use it in your cooking. I've used it in when I stir fry vegetables like potatoes, kumara, anything like that. I put a little bit of the vanilla bean into that. It's gorgeous, beautiful. I have a customer who actually uses the vanilla bean for his seafood. When he cooks his prawns, and he puts a bit of the vanilla bean into the butter when he cooks the prawns and the garlic. So that's another point, tip there for you. There's so much you can do with this. It's endless. You can try it in anything. You know, don't be scared. So to open it, you need a nice sharp knife, and you just put the bean, this is the top of the bean, that's the bottom, and from the bottom, I'll open up the whole thing. So you start from the top, and you just make a little point, put the sharp bit of the knife into the top there, and you just run it down the length of the bean until you split it open. And then I'll just show you before I scrape it. All the black little seeds in there, that is called vanillin or vanillin. That is your gold. All of that. And see, it's all over my fingers. And then what we do, you take the top end of your knife and you just scrape. I'm just going to scrape a little bit. If you were baking, you would only need this much for if a recipe says 1 teaspoon of vanilla, you would need that little bit. There. That's how strong the flavor will be. So what I'm going to do with that is one little thing that we do. I have here a little bit of raw cane sugar. So you could make your own vanilla sugar. And what we're going to do is scrape that little bit that I just scraped out and put it into the sugar. Stir it around. As it dries up, you'll see that the vanilla it's a bit oily, but as it stays in the sugar, it will break up even more. So we just stirred it around. Yeah, you see the black? The longer you leave it in the sugar, the more flavor of vanilla you're going to end up with. Yeah. So there's our vanilla sugar. Yeah. The other, I'm just going to pull this up. Hi there. Okay. So vanilla sugar, you can use that vanilla bean for, or if you wanted to, once you've used all the inside of the bean, you can actually stick this whole thing into your vanilla container, your sugar container, and it will give you the vanilla flavor inside your sugar as well. You can even, when you're finished with it, put it into a bottle of your favorite, whether it's coconut oil, any body oil, natural body oil, and you infuse your vanilla bean in there, and then you'll end up with a beautiful vanilla aroma for your body. Yeah. To store it, once you've cut it like this, do not put it in the refrigerator. So do not store your vanilla beans in the refrigerator. So what I would do is wrap it up into wax paper, kitchen paper, which is waxed. Wrap it up nice and tight and put it into an airtight container. You can put it into a Ziploc bag and just make sure you get the air out of it, or put it in a container. But as long as you wrap it up in wax paper, then it will keep. And then just leave it, make sure it's not exposed to the sunlight. That's the main thing. You don't want it exposed to the air and the sunlight. Otherwise, next time you go back to it, it'll be a little stick. But if it does become a little stick, chop it up small like that and grind it up in a coffee grinder, and you'll end up with a little bit of vanilla powder. Yeah, so that's another little tip. What else do I use this on? I actually put some of this into my whipped cream. I actually put some in my coffees. Yeah, and then I make the other products with it, my vanilla syrup and things like that. Yeah, so a beautiful, beautiful vanilla bean can do so much. It can really do a whole lot. And don't be afraid to try different things with it. One of our followers, Laura, who's in Canada, I'm not sure whether she's with us today, but she is amazing with what she does with her vanilla beans, and she certainly is a vanilla fan, because she buys beans from all over the world and she makes all of these different things. So yeah, don't be afraid, and I think if you go onto our vanilla lounge group, and sometimes we get other people to share their recipes. I know I tend to share quite a bit there. Oh, and another thing you can do with this is make your own vanilla extract. You would need more than one bean though, for maybe, let me just see. This is our bottle. So this is a 300 ml bottle. If you were going to make an extract for yourself, around about 300 mils, I would use, for that size container, I would use at least 4 beans in there. And what you do is you just split it open like I showed you. Put it into a container. Make sure that the bean is the alcohol covers the bean, and leave it there for at least minimum of 2 months. The longer you can leave it without being tempted to use it, the more vanilla flavor and strength you're going to get with your extract. For the alcohol side of things, for your extract, just use your favorite vodka, favorite gin, favorite rum, anything like bourbon. Yep. So it's just whatever you like. So just remember though that if you're going to make your own extract, that it is alcohol based. So when you're using it in your baking, you have to be very careful with the measurements. Obviously you need to use less because it'll have quite a strong alcohol taste to it. And the other thing that we use the vanilla for is our beautiful, beautiful vanilla syrup. And if you look very closely up the top, you will see all the vanillin or vanillin that came from inside here sitting up the top. It floats, so yeah, that's why it sits up the top there. This is divine. The other, this is our smaller extract there. And then what I do also with the vanilla bean, when I've used everything up, I make our own starfruit and vanilla jam. So again, that's another idea that you can use the bean for. Don't ever throw the bean away when you've finished using everything inside. You can put this inside when you're making your own custards. Put a whole bean, as long as you split it open so that the vanillin comes out. Boil it up in there, and there's just so much you can do. But don't ever throw it away. Once you've used everything that's inside, even if you've used it, like if you were going to make make custard and you end up washing it just to get all the custard off it, just dry it out. Once you've washed it, dry it out and then put it away. Again, just cut it up. When everything's finished, cut it up and turn it into vanilla powder so that you've utilized every single part of the vanilla bean. It really is a fantastic cooking and baking addition, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm in love with vanilla. Love it. I'm sorry I can't do much more in the demo side of things. I think I actually probably need another person with me who can follow me around rather than trying to get all of this set up and up, down, off again. So, but we'll get there. But I think how you can help me is send me in your questions or your comments about what else we could do or how we might be able to do something different. Again, I'm going to make sure that each month there's going to be something different. So I might not be inside next month. I might take you outside and do something else. But it really helps me when I know what you're interested in, what you want to hear from me, or what you want me to show you. Or whether you just want to have a chat. I'm all good for that too. I love to have a chat. So I think this is going to be a short session, maybe today, I don't know. I wish I could, thank you, Melly. Yes, you can be my helper next time. Yeah, that's great. But you know what? One thing that I wanted to say, our video last month was just amazing. I was just blown away with the amount of how far it reached. I ended up with over 24,000, reaching 24,000 people. The video got over 14,000 views, and the engagement for that video, just that one video, was almost 10,000. It was amazing. But you know what I learned? Big lesson. I forgot to save the video. So after 30 days, Facebook deleted it and all of the statistics, all of the insights for that particular video. So I'm going to make sure that I save this one. Like I said, you live and learn, and that's certainly one thing that I need to learn, you know, is to save my videos, because they are important data, important good feedback for me, and good resources for me to have on my website. Yeah, visit my website. There's so much more on my website that I like to share, because it's not just about me and Vaoala Vanilla. I use my website as a platform to help other women here in Samoa, particularly our rural community women and community groups that are unable to have their own online platform, either because of internet and broadband challenges, being so far away, or even just the cost of having your own e-commerce store is not cheap. So I want to use my website as a platform for them to showcase some of their products, not all of their products. I'm just putting a few of their products on, and just give them the opportunity to promote them outside of Samoa. And I've been really blessed that a lot of my customers from my store, from you guys, the Facebook followers, have actually purchased a few items from our community groups. And when you do that, that money goes directly to them. Obviously minus the cost of freight. The cost of freight from here in Samoa, it's out of this roof. It's so expensive. So once we pay all of those expenses, then the community groups get their sales. Yeah, and I'm really, really pleased that I'm able to do that for them. So thank you again for your support. Yeah. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to turn myself sideways, because I learned again, was that once you have, when you're recording in Facebook in landscape, I can't turn it around portrait. I just wish that the comments would be landscape too. So anyway, something else for me to figure out and learn. So any questions? If I can see, let me see. Mele. You would have seen my Afghan cookies as well. Yes. I experimented with the Afghan cookies, and Mele there, her and her father, they actually have a business called Kokomoni, and they do koko, salmon koko, and salmon coffee, and their koko is just beautiful, really, really smooth and gorgeous. So I grate their koko, and I use that in my Afghans. So you know how Afghans have cornflakes, they have cocoa powder. So I don't use the store-bought cocoa powder. I grate the cocoa and I put that into the Afghans along with the vanilla syrup and the vanilla extract. And I actually put the syrup as well and the salmon cocoa into the icing. So you know how Afghans have the chocolate icing? Again, no store-bought cocoa powder going into that. It's grated salmon cocoa. And I put a teaspoon of the vanilla syrup. And the vanilla syrup actually, because the vanillin up here, it has its natural oils. So when I put the vanilla syrup into the icing, it actually makes the icing not really buttery, but it's got a very nice smooth texture, smooth taste to it. It doesn't taste like icing sugar. You know how sometimes icing sugar, you can tell that it's icing sugar? Wow. after putting the syrup into the icing sugar, and you mix it the same, you know, like a little bit of, it does have a little bit of butter in it, and a bit of hot water just to get the mixture going. But the syrup just gives it another dimension altogether. It takes it to, it's just so smooth. So yes, my Afghans are becoming quite popular down at my market. I'm sorry I can't send them overseas, but I have written up the recipe, and I'm going to be sharing that with you all in one of my Facebook posts sometime this week, so watch out for that. And probably one of the most interesting part about all of what I do here is that I do everything, I bake everything in a barbecue, because I don't own an oven. My husband refuses to buy me an oven. He says, Shelley, you've been cooking in a barbecue for, how long have we been here? 29 years. You don't need an oven. So yeah, I've become quite good at using the barbecue as my oven. So it's not just for barbecues. I do my roasts in there. I bake pavlovas, I bake scones, I do all my cakes in the barbecue. And now my Afghan cookies. Yes. So if you've got a barbecue, try it out. It's fun. It's fun to be baking in a barbecue. You just got to adjust the heat a little bit, and just make sure that you place the baking in the middle so that you get even heat. Yeah, so there's another tip. And what else do we have? Watching from Australia, welcome everyone. Silky smooth, yes, it certainly is. Certainly is. So yeah, I guess I don't want to go on too long, because I know last time, my very first Facebook Live that I did, I think I spent over an hour. And then last month we had internet issues. Remember, we got cut out, but we had been going for about 40 minutes anyway. So this time round, I want to keep it simple, quick, and informative. Again, if there's anything that is specific that you want me to answer, I'm sorry again that I can't get to all of your questions because of this portrait landscape thing, but I promise I will answer your comments in the actual post after I post up the video. Yeah, so let me know what else you would like to see, and give me feedback. Give me feedback on me as a presenter. You know, just say, Shelley, be a little bit more professional, or Shelley, do this a little bit more, please. I'm not a supermodel. I'm not you know, I'm not one to be in front of the camera. This is certainly me stepping outside of my comfort zone. I've been trying to get my husband to step outside of his comfort zone by helping me with the video, but he refuses, so this is why I do things by myself. But it's strange for me to be talking and not seeing people that I'm engaging with other than your comments. So your comments really help me know that you're there, and I feel like I'm engaging with you. So yeah, it's certainly different from when you're sitting in front of a whole group of people talking. But I love to share. I love to share what I know. I love to share what I'm doing, in the hope that I'm going to encourage someone else, another woman, to carry on with her dream, or even grow some vanilla and share it with me, you know, share the journey. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, so I think I might leave you here, unless you've got something else that you want me to talk about. Otherwise I could stand here and keep talking. Sorry. Because that's how much I love my vanilla, but I don't want to overwhelm you all. There's so much within the vanilla not only the vanilla industry, but with what I'm doing. I've got so much to share. I've got so much to tell you that if I said it all at once, you need a few hours. So I just want to do little bits and pieces, and I thought and I'm trying to do it in stages so that you get to see what I was doing. You get to see the vanilla as it's growing on a vine. I've shown you flower buds and what it looks like as a bean. When the flowers open, I will show you how I pollinate it. All right, so I can't do that until they actually open. The other things that I do, it's the maintenance of the vanilla. You haven't seen me yet with the challenge of pruning a living support tree while growing vanilla. I also do a lot of vanilla training workshops, so I'm hoping that I'm trying to figure out how, while I'm doing live videos, whether I could share some still photos. So again, something else I've got to figure out and learn, so you can see what I've been doing rather than just me doing a whole lot of posts. I think it'd be nice if I could do something as a live video and share my screen, so to speak, and show you things that I've been doing. But we will get there. We will get there. And I've talked to you today about the bean. So the bean is the hero. This is my baby. Oh God. Man, that's beautiful. So again, it's gone from a green, mature bean to processing. Processing takes about 4 to 5 months to this product, to the end product where you receive it. So when you really think about it, that it takes 9 months for the bean to mature on the vine, and then another 4 to 5 months before it gets to you. So you're looking at least 12 to 14 months, and that is why vanilla is so expensive. Vanilla is the second highest spice after saffron in the world, and so this is why it's expensive. But it's expensive because of the labor of love that is put into ensuring that you get beautiful, oily, premium beans coming to your doorstep, and that you can put into your baking and cooking. Using real vanilla, you will not go back to synthetic vanilla after using real vanilla. I guarantee you that. There's nothing compares to real vanilla. So I hope you all agree with me. And I hope I convert you. I hope I convert a lot of you into moving away from that imitation synthetic stuff. Yes, it's cheap, but if you really want to have your baking pop and you want beautiful smells, the vanilla aromas, use real vanilla. And plus, because you're using real vanilla, you're helping some other vanilla farmer, me included, but everyone else around the world who grows vanilla. You're helping them by sustaining their business and helping them to grow their business, because every dollar that when you're buying a vanilla pod, you're helping to grow. It goes back to them. So yeah, isn't that a great corporate social responsibility idea, that if we could all help other farmers? And I tell you what, I was never a full-time farmer. I was never a farmer all my life. I've only begun growing vanilla about 14 years ago, and it's only been probably in the last 4 years that I've actually called myself a farmer. I'm an administrator, I'm management, that's my background. So for me to be now full-time as a farmer, I truly understand and appreciate the challenges of not just vanilla farmers, but all farmers, what they go through. The amount of labor, the amount of work, the amount of love and commitment that they do and give to their crops, no matter what crops they're growing, to sell it to the global market, not just for supermarkets, but for you, the consumer, to be using it at home, restaurants. So I certainly appreciate why things can be expensive, and do not complain as much. That's me. I don't complain as much because now I understand what a farmer goes through. So yeah, thank you again. Thank you again for your support. Vaoala Vanilla would not be as successful as it is becoming if it was not for all of you. If it was not for your support, not only on my store, but just watching our journey and sharing it. So I feel very blessed, and I'm very grateful, very, very grateful. That's just me as a person. So anyway, told you I can talk. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to let you go. And next month, I'm going to edit this and then I'll put it on Facebook. I'll post it there so that people can watch it later on. I'll also be putting it on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already seen my YouTube channel, it's under Vaoala Vanilla. I've got some different videos on there. And if you go to my website, vaoalavanilla.com, you will see more little video tutorials that I do, as well as our products, as well as the community products that I help to promote and help to sell for our community members. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to grow that part of it and get more community groups and their products online. Yeah, so follow us, Facebook, our group Vanilla Lounge, where we like to share different tips and recipes and things like that. Yeah, so feel free to keep following us and feel free to ask me any questions. I love questions and I love to answer them. So thank you again. And next month, I think I will be talking about the vanilla syrup, and I'm going to try really hard, even though I already have a video on my Facebook page on how I make the vanilla syrup. But what I might do, because it is a long process, so it'd be too hard to actually do it live, but what I could do is just show you very quickly how I scrape them all and then put them into the vanilla syrup, and then show you I'll use them. I'll use it in some whipped cream. I also put it into natural yogurt, and I end up with vanilla yogurt. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So that will be next month's topic. And then I think after that, we will go back outside. Unless you want me to do outside next month and change it around, tell me. Post it up and let me know which way you'd like me to present these things to you. All right? So with that, I wish you a beautiful evening or a day if you're just getting up, if you're on the other side of the world. I wish you a happy Easter. That's next week, but I won't be seeing you live next week. So I wish you a beautiful and safe Easter and a good weekend coming up. And for those that are living in Samoa, you'll see me down at the Swag Saturday Market tomorrow with bells on and out there promoting my vanilla and starfruit jam. Yep, I'm getting pretty good at this branding. So thank you again, everyone, and God bless you, and always know how grateful I am and love you to bits. Mwah. Bye.